Let's talk about statute of limitations. Tell our audience, Joe, what that means and why it's important.
Statute of limitations is essentially your deadline to get something done. And that something usually is either settling your claim or filing a lawsuit. In Arizona, you generally have 2 years within which to pursue a claim against somebody who's injured you negligently. That would include whether it's car accident, truck crash, bike accident, or premises liability. Say you slip and fall at the grocery store, or maybe you trip and fall over some uneven pavement while entering a business.
And let me ask you, Joe, and this is important for our audience to remember as they're listening, hopefully listening to what we're talking about, and that is we're talking about only Arizona law, and that statute of limitations generally in Arizona is 2 years. In other states, at least when I was worked in California, it was a 1-year statute of limitations in California for a lot of different things. So
there's a couple of states that have, through tort reform, shortened the time limits within which people can act. And so that's one of the reasons why lawyers like you and me are important to have soon after suffering an injury, so that you have the ability to make sure you don't miss those deadlines.
I don't think there's any Arizona statute of limitations in civil case that we handle that's shorter than 2 years. Is that correct?
Well, not quite. So if you remember dog bite cases, while technically you do have a 2-year statute of limitations for negligence claims, there's additionally a 1-year statute of limitations for strict liability claims.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about dog bites specifically a bit later, but that's an excellent point, Joe, that sometimes even though you have the 2-year statute of limitations, there is a tactical or strategic reasons to file the lawsuit sooner, namely within a year. And one of those cases is dog bite cases, and also certain workers' compensation claims that arise for third parties.
Yes.
Tell me what the ramifications are if a tort victim or a injury victim misses, quote unquote, misses a statute of limitations. Is there any recovery for that?
No. That is the biggest dilemma for many injury victims, is that if you miss the deadline to act, you will lose your right to compensation. You will lose your right to hold the tortfeasor accountable for what happened to you, and you will be stuck with whatever bills and losses that incurred as a result of the injuries.
You must take legal action, or you run the significant risk of losing your legal rights. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think what we're finding out, too, from our Court of Appeals is even a day late is too late, to the point where the courts are throwing out cases that some had gone even to jury verdict. But because there was the statute of limitations defense, the Court of Appeals came around and reversed the jury verdict and had the case dismissed.